Hello and welcome to ATM World News. I'm Leah, and it's great to be with you, the viewers all around the world. Today, wow, what a show we have for you. We have with us, as you can see, the Cowsills, three of the siblings. Today, Bob,
Woo!
Paul, Susan. We are so thrilled to have them today. And for those who don't know, wow, they had a string of hits during the late 60s and early 70s. The Partridge Family TV show based it off of this group here. And they had a major hit, got a gold record with The Rain in the Park and other things, which most people today just call it the Flower Girl. I love the Flower Girl. You remember that song? I mean, groovy. And this chick here, Susan, man, she could dance to all that. So, with that, I'm going to throw it to the three of you and say hello.
Hello.
Hey gang, how you doing?
Hello, world. We love it. I love the word world. We have the world behind us.
I mean, you're like creative, man. I
Well,
mean,
we
you all are
try.
coordinated. You were a very promoted group.
In terms of TV shows, because we were a family, our mom's in the group, Susan's 7 years old and dancing so cute all the time, that we got on a lot of TV shows, all of them, from
All
Ed
of them.
Sullivan through all the crap music halls, Jonathan
Mike
Winters.
Douglas and Mike
So that's
Douglas
what
a
that,
few times, right? Like so some of them a few
Yes,
sure,
times.
Johnny Carson, the
did
Tonight
them
Show, we did
a
them all.
bunch.
Wow. How did you all deal with, the demanding flow? I know you were with your siblings and your mom. I'm sure that helped, but still, how did you cope? What were your coping mechanisms?
I can tell you, it was the love of doing it. I
Yeah.
mean, it was
Mhm.
just way too much fun for us, you know. No matter what was happening in our world, once those shows started, any show, any stage, man, we were happy and we were just out of our minds.
I mean, if you think about it, like think about being a family. Think about you have four kids, and every day they go to school, or let's say it's even summer and they don't go to school. So every day you get up and you have these kids, and they want something to do. You have to come up with stuff for kids to do. I mean, back in the so we are a family, and they have given us the funnest thing in the world to do, which is every like you know what I mean. It's like going to a party almost every night. So I think as kids the way I translated it was like, oh, this is like going to the circus, only I'm in it. It's so maybe because we were so young, it appeared more that way for me. Go, Bob.
And also, we did this willingly. We pursued this. We dragged our parents. We were going to drag everyone else into it.
Mm-hmm.
But this was our gig and our thing from a young age. Eventually, the parents started listening and, hey, they're pretty good. But this is us. We never dreaded the next show. We welcomed it. We never dreaded the next tour. We welcomed it. The next TV show, we welcomed it. This is what we did. It was our happy place, still is today, by the way. Our happy place is doing all of this.
Too
And I
much fun.
mean, if you think about it, I mean, once because it was our happy place, and even though families evolve and most of them just grow up, go to high school, go to college, get married, leave, boom, one after another, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. That didn't happen for us. So I knew that something like that was going to happen. Frankly, I wondered what I was gonna do after this. What do people do? To have a good time.
Yeah.
And,
So,
and the evolution of our band and our musical group is what we were focused on and concentrated on. Side by side to that's going to be the evolution of the family and how that's going to accommodate the evolution of the musical group, and that's going to cause a lot of stuff to happen. But the bottom line is that the headline and the front runner of all of what we were doing was to get on stage and perform and record music and make music. That's what we wanted to do.
Wow, and you did it well. I mean, your sound was incredible. How did y'all perfect that sound? It just came naturally as siblings, hearing each other's voices, or
you're deep in a dungeon in a scientific laboratory creating.
Yeah,
I was a seventh
we
sound.
were DNA, we were DNA fortunate. Let's call it that. DNA fortunate. I don't know. But we
Yeah.
all were born with the DNA to sing, to perform, to play musical instruments. I mean, your gene pool is your gene pool. And we got all these ones that made it easy for us as children to learn how to do this stuff naturally. We never learned how to read music, write music, but we listened because back then you had the radio and the records. That's the end of it. You're not going to see your favorite group in your hometown usually. You'll see them on a TV show if they can get on it. You can see them in a teen mag if you want to read a teen mag. But that's I just went through all of the ways you could find us back then and how we learned songs and how we heard the Beatles before we saw the Beatles. We learned their songs before we even knew how they did it. But that's how it was. You're on your own back then. There's no internet, no resources, no
Cool.
nothing. The radio and the records.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why it says a lot that you made it so big when there was, not, you didn't have the advantage of the internet and things like that. But that sound, you'll find a group now and then where that sound, you just say, whoa, that's just so different. And I think you were, my personal opinion, your sound was uniquely different than a lot of other groups that were swirling around back then. And I think that people gravitated to the harmony type of harmony you had. And when you hit that awesome sounding song, the Rain, the Park, and other things about the flower girl that kind of made people happy. Wow, that was a real ringer. What kind of feedback do you personally still get today on that song?
Oh my gosh, everybody has a story here about hearing about a guy will come up or a gal and go, oh well, it was a guy with me actually, and it happens a lot more than not. And it's they were on their first date, they were having their first kiss, and I think it can go on and on from that. But everybody has, and that's the beauty of music, everybody has a moment in their life where that song, was out, and a lot of people have, said, "Oh, it was the most beautiful song." This was happening when that song was playing. Oh yeah,
The thing that was unique about our band was that we weren't singing about the time. We weren't singing about a time capsule. We were living it.
Yeah.
So when we come out with The Rain, the Park, and other things, we're dealing with the Vietnam War. We're dealing with civil unrest. We're dealing with racial unrest. We're dealing with bad economy. All the stuff that's going on today, even some in many places, we were dealing with that as young children, as middle teenagers, as our parents were dealing with it. And so we were living the time that we sang during, and that made it authentic. And look, it's nothing you're doing intentionally. We're not in there in the studio with the Rain in the Park and other things going, oh, we're going to sing about the hippies and the flower. Look, it's just a great song, and we're young, and we're embracing this whole thing. And yeah, we were kind of a breath of fresh air in 1967 with all that was going on.
Yes, you
and and,
were.
and also though, Leah, to Bob's point, Artie Kornfeld, who wrote that song and produced that song, was a flower child. I
Yeah.
mean, that was his expression of
Hippie.
his time and how he wanted that 60s to be. And he was
He
truly
was the
he is a beautiful
quintessential
guy.
hippie. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
He's love and understanding. That was Artie.
Yep.
Uh,
Party.
that
We'll
was
be on
cool.
our podcast soon. Go ahead.
How did you all feel when your mom joined your group?
Well, that's a loaded question.
I was in first grade, so
Is
I
that
don't
going to be
know.
episode 2 on this podcast? No.
Well, Bob, let
Susan,
me
I don't
just
know.
say this one.
Did you
Let me just say this one thing. Um, and Susan, you might agree with me, but you were actually all the way in there. But Mom, so the band, the Cowsills, there were the four guys, for a while there, and they were doing their thing, and then all of a sudden, and I was out on the outside, and Susan, we were just all looking at it happening, and we were all a part of the movement and the growth and the forwardness of it all. But man, when all of a sudden mom's in the band, man, I look around the room and I go, well, heck, if she's in the band, anybody can be in the band. And so everybody jumped in the band.
And I was trying to get in that band just as a little
Yeah.
punk kid. I mean,
Yeah.
4 on, bugging them. They're in the rehearsal room. Like, I can't imagine what they had to put up with, because I was like, I want to do it. And they're like, we hate you, go away. Because I'm a little tiny kid now, and it's really I have
Oh,
no.
we never said that.
Well, they
But,
never
and
said
also,
that, but they did say go away.
well, you were a girl and you were our girl sister.
Yeah,
And,
I'm not
but
blaming
at the
any.
time, girls weren't in bands. It was
I
all
know.
about
I
four
was
guys.
revolutionary.
No,
But
your
who won?
your mother was revolutionary,
Well,
kid.
that is
Because
God's
look,
truth.
man, candidly, and Paul mentioned the four brothers. Okay, so four of us are trying to do this.
Okay.
We're getting signed to labels in the 10th, 11th grade. We're getting dropped from labels. We're putting records out. They're not going anywhere. Our egos and self-esteem by the time I'm personally a junior in high school has been destroyed by all. And so, but you keep going because it's what we knew how to do. Now, when they added mom, we had no successful track record to speak back at and say, what are you trying to kill us? You know, putting no mothers in a rock group. But immediately we aren't the Beatles. Immediately we're not like any other group of the time. Just like that, with that one move, we became different. And the talent was always there, the sound was always there, but now we had a package supporting it that really got some attention with mom in the group. So we give her kudos for launching us with our first hit record and opening the doors for the rest of the family to come in and say, this is a family affair. And every time we
It's
added
a
another
family
family member, the vocal
affair.
better, better. And if they were the young ones coming in, the vocal stack got higher. And if the mid-range guys were all coming in, now we got something to work with. And that was a pretty cool evolution.
It was. It really was cool.
Well, you all had and
The
you
light
all were a creative thought. I mean, you created this your own to the point where, hey, they're thinking, let's do a TV show based on this, because it was your own original creative thought. The group it was new, and it was attractive to see it in a family view. I mean, people ate that up, and that was really a great break for y'all. How long did this run for you? How many years were you doing this?
Go
Since
ahead,
like
guys.
71,
Yeah.
the heyday. Let's look. We did it since we were 7 and 8 year olds. Okay, if you want the long answers, we did it. We've been doing it our whole life. We've never stopped. But you're referencing, our spike in popularity was anywhere from 66 to 71, where that's our wheelhouse right there in terms of TV shows and fame and hit records and all those things you search for that you don't search for when you're an older artist because you had them, you'd like them again, but it doesn't motivate you. Our dad hit the streets in 67 to get a deal, a record deal, because back then you needed that. They brought everything to the table, the record company. Now, everything you have to bring to the table today, you have to do so much for yourself. It was a different approach back then. And we were very fortunate enough to be at the right place at the right time because the talent was always there. And as American Idol or any of these TV shows show, there's talent all over the country.
Right.
So we were fortunate enough to be noticed. Absolutely.
I have a personal question just because I'm curious. You did the Ed Sullivan show. He was quite a character. How was that? I mean, tell me some behind the scenes stuff with that. Your show with Ed
Yeah.
Sullivan. I really want to know.
Well, I'll tell you mine because mine will be the most innocent. But like I actually I enjoy my point of view because it's unique and unto me. But I honestly, I was kind of like a very aware little kid for whatever reason, and I was very aware what was going on, and a lot of work went into this. And I knew who Ed Sullivan was, and when we were literally going to New York City and going to live there and be on Ed Sullivan, I really knew like Christmas kind of magic had occurred. I knew the kids in my neighborhood weren't doing this. I knew it. And Ed Sullivan is Santa Claus to a 6-year-old, and it's like, we're what? It's like everything was believable at that point. It's like, we're gonna, and then they brought me back a picture of Captain Kangaroo on one of their visits to New York. So my Ed Sullivan was like, I just knew this was a magic time, and I was excited.
Gentlemen?
And then there's dirt. Tell the dirt, Bob.
Yeah.
Tell the dirt. Well, look, Ed Sullivan back then, you had to be invited by Ed to be on the Ed Sullivan Show. Now, with our mom and our band, we're attractive, and we were right up this man's alley. And he did invite us. We signed a 10-show contract. It was at the time bigger than the Beatles. Have been many more bigger than since, but at the time, it was a big deal. And it was the top of the mountain also. 8 o'clock Sunday night, everyone's in front of their television set. It's on CBS. That's why Captain Kangaroo was. That's why you got that picture, Susan. But we're all in front of the TV. You're not taping it. You're not waiting for Monday to review it slower so you can really study it. You got one pass at the Ed Sullivan Show. So, but when you did it, it was live, and the United States of America saw you. I mean, the spike was, it was crazy great, as you would imagine. Now, we only did 2 out of 10 shows. And Paul, you want to tell why we only did 2 out of 10 shows?
Yeah, I can let her know this. Let's let the world know this. Because it was live, everything had to go just right. And as soon as Ed goes, our Cowsills, and then all of a sudden the Cowsills were up there, and there was no music or no sound coming off the stage. And our dad, I was right beside him. Our dad all of a sudden just jumped up and headed into the production room, which it was just glass, black glass around everything. But once the lights were on in there, you could see silhouette. And man, our dad was going crazy in there on a gentleman named Bob Precht, who was Ed's son-in-law, but who was also, he was one of the producers of the show as well. And so that's how we went from 10, the biggest contract ever, to just 2.
Go
ahead, Bob.
Ed got mad. Well, the other thing about Ed Sullivan Show was you got to work with the Nelson Riddle Orchestra. So we got to meet Nelson Riddle. Now that was big to some of us because that was Frank Sinatra's guy. So I just want to do that as an aside, that he came with the Ed Sullivan Show, and that was a big, big deal. And the only other memory I have is going up the elevator with Bobby Gentry, who was on when we were on Ode to Billy Joe. I'm like 17. This is Bobby Gentry. She looks like she's 6'8" in a cowgirl outfit. And I didn't say a word. I was so intimidated by her in that elevator. I said nothing.
Yeah, I was.
And I had a hit record at the time. But in our heads,
we were all in that elevator.
Yeah, no one
were like gasping air in.
No one taught us like
crazy.
We had hit. Yeah, so that was meeting other artists at the time where we don't know or we don't think we're that big yet, because we shouldn't be thinking that, I guess. They were always bigger than we were, and we were always in awe of the people we crossed paths with that were famous, and we were kind of hobnobbing with a little.
Topo Gijo, getting to see Topo Gijo for me. Yep, a little backstage, but it was weird because he was all laid down with nobody making him talk, and I was like,
oh Eddie, I love you so much.
I don't know if he was just on the set.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, he was on the set in the back, y'all. I mean, I saw him. I'm like, I asked somebody, can I see Topo?
Just so your viewers know, Ed Sullivan Show, you hear about it from all of us 60s artists who got to get on it, how big a deal it was. But you need to know this was a variety show. You got one song the first half and one song the second half, and all the other acts are guys twirling plates, circus acts, clowns, comedians, this and that.
Yep.
True variety.
We were on the elevator, and the door opens, and the guy that's spinning plates is there, spinning plates, trying to get on the elevator, get back up on stage while the plates are still spinning.
That's hilarious.
It is.
I know.
We love that act.
Or as Ed would say, he had a really big shoe.
He did.
A really big shoe.
A really big shoe right here.
Oh wow, you do a
Oh,
good
Phil.
imitation. That's great. Listen,
Thank you.
I agree
We
with
all do that,
Susan.
Sullivan.
She knew you all had made it if you
Yeah.
all were going on the Ed Sullivan show.
Yeah, it was
I
a
know
big,
it was a big deal,
it was a big
and
honor.
it is a big honor. I mean, it really was. It was something else. I know that you had several opportunities to do other things and other shows, after that. But
Oh, yeah.
for back then, people, it was like the top of the top of the top of the top of the top. You couldn't get any higher than doing the Ed Sullivan. You had to be really something else on a stick to do it. And he
Aw.
was particular. And I think that, of course, if your dad had to control his anger issues, we knew he had anger issues, that you would have gotten your whole 10, but at least you got two.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Oh,
and I
here's a
yeah,
fun story.
go ahead.
So there was a thing called Ted Mack Amateur Hour.
Yeah.
You remember that? Well,
Okay.
I think my brothers auditioned and got turned down, or was it not Ted Mack? What was it? Was it? Yeah. And
I don't
so
remember.
dad uh sent Ted Mack a Western Union and told him to watch Ed Sullivan that Sunday night.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Oh,
he
yeah.
you're
could
gonna
see
rub it
us
in,
on it.
huh?
Yeah, I think the
Rub it
Ted
in.
Mack Amateur Hour turned that down, but there was
He did.
Hold That Tiger," and that was another show like The Voice or what have you. What was the
That
name
was
of that
on
show?
Good Talent, no, Star of the Day or something. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
can't
Right on.
remember.
But no, I know
Yeah,
this happened. I remember Dad. He was proud to say he sent him a telegram. Watch my kids on Ed Sullivan. Ha,
yeah.
ha, ha.
He was definitely a guy that was into "I told you so."
Oh God, yeah, he would spend the money on the telegram show for show.
Oh God, it's so exciting. Yeah, like I said,
Wow.
it had to have been a thrill a minute to be you guys. And, and since it was so much fun, I have talked to artists where they liked it and looking back on it, they were happy and exciting, but it wasn't like necessarily everyone takes it like you were was so exciting.
Yeah,
They were
no.
all like, well, I'm kind of got nerves this year or something like that. But you guys were like, yeah, we're not nervous at all. And so many kids today, when you see them on some of the talent shows, America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, Everybody's Got Talent, they're kind of nervous, but not you guys. You were real
No,
confident.
we were ridiculously confident.
I couldn't
Well,
get over that because I could see that in the performances when people look at the
It's
videos.
pretty
They said,
funny,
"Wow,
really. I think it's
well,
cute.
yeah. I mean, also though that was who we were. I mean, if when we were all
Yeah.
together, it was a hoot.
oh
It was, and that's the way it was,
Get up
regardless if
on
it was raining or the
that,
sun was out.
get up on that stage.
Yeah,
Yeah. No one's telling us get up on that stage and make sure you look like you're having a good time.
No,
No one had to
right,
tell us that.
no,
right.
we're kind of running like
We still
this.
can't wait to get to the
We're running to the stage before.
shows are fun. Yeah. Shows are fun.
oh
And if you
wow,
do a lot of shows, you realize why they're fun. You start the show and it's like an unknown. You're going to be done in an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you just don't know where it's going to go. It's a lot of fun shows.
Yep.
yeah, yeah, cool." So tell us, bring us up to date. What y'all doing nowadays? Y'all have different
Tell them
lives.
what
What's
they've
going
learned.
on?
Well, the
We have
Cowsills, yep, good. Paul, you start.
Just you in general. What you doing?
Well, we've been playing. We do a lot of shows. We're almost at 100 shows a year. And but right now we're in the world of Christmas, and we have a brand new digital download only Christmas song called Christmas Time coming out. No, it's out. Is it
It's
out,
out.
Bob?
It's
It's
out.
out.
It's out. It's out right now. So everybody go out. It's a beautiful, beautiful Christmas song, like a real Christmas song, not like, listening to Rock Around the Clock and putting Christmas words to Rock Around the Clock. This is Bob wrote this beautiful melody, and him and his wife penned the lyrics, and it's just a super. And then we all went into a studio in the 100-degree weather and did this Christmas song, and yeah, and then we have another song for the New Year's called "Some Good Years," and if you listen to that, that's kind of answer your question, Leah, about how come we're so happy, because we kind of
Yeah.
just remember the good times of everything, and that's the best way to do it. And then we have an acapella Winter Wonderland. We did an acapella album will be coming out that we've already recorded, but we took Winter Wonderland because that was the only Christmas song we did, and we took that acapella and put it on with this EP. So
Now we're
you got
Christmas
three
cards,
great
see?
songs.
And you can go to Cowsills at Facebook, cowsill.com. Omnivore Recordings is our record company. The links are all there to find this. It's digital only, but we're really in a bigger way. Christmas is December 26th and New Year's. It's all going to end, and then we're back on our Rhythm of the World. That's our album that
That's
we put
right.
out this year. It's a year old. We're very proud of it. It's gotten critically acclaimed like bonkers. And there's a lot coming down the pike regarding the Cowsills and all of our material. But right now, it's time for Christmas time. And then we're going to be back on the road February 8th in Vero Beach, actually December 19th in Tomball,
Yep.
Texas, for a
Totally.
Christmas show at the Main Street Crossing. But we have a lot of gigs coming up in 2024. So just check out our website on that, and it'll pop up. You'll see where you can find us.
Okay, people, you
Oh,
heard how busy they are. They got a lot to offer you. A lot of new stuff. Go ahead. You were going to say something,
Wally,
Bob?
well,
what
I
do you
did
got?
want to I wanted to mention to all the people out there, I don't know how we do a digital download, how we get that into a stocking on Christmas Eve, but I know there's a lot of young people out there that probably know how to put a digital download into a stocking. So,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Go
Probably
I
ahead.
can
sit at
figure it
your
out.
computer, and there's a digital stocking hanging from the
No,
fireplace.
no,
And
no.
then
You just
Oh,
get a cute
put in
little
yeah.
card. You get a cute little
Yes.
card that says you have a digital download in your
But we
stocking.
Right.
also
Oh,
we're also quite busy with our Cowsills podcast. We're up to 115 weekly episodes that stay up on demand. You can go to any one of them and check out the guest list. And if you listen to all of them, you will hear from all the historians about their hit records and everything. It's very cool. So we have that going every Wednesday. A new episode goes up, and that is keeping it going too. And we have our documentary on Amazon Prime. You can find Cowsills' story on Amazon Prime. We're all over the place, and we have a lot going on, and we're very happy
Yeah.
Well,
about it
it's like
all.
you're still a teenager. You got all
yeah.
this energy doing all this stuff.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
those first 20 minutes in the morning trying to get out of the bed, and then I'm good to go.
Yeah, once you're up, you're going to go.
Good
Yeah,
to
but
go, but you
listen,
can't sit down again.
yeah, but for those who love their sound, honestly, there is so much going on. Like they said, just rewind this, get the info, download, go check them out at a concert. And you know something, y'all are living busy lives, so I deeply appreciate you taking the time to come on board and give us an interview today.
And we would love to come back and give you an update
Yeah, that
sometime.
Yeah.
sounds
Yes.
And
cool.
we very
Yeah.
much appreciate you giving us an opportunity
Yeah.
to let
Oh my
everybody know what
goodness.
we're up to. Because it
I'm the
can't.
one that's thrilled. You know, I'm the one that was given the opportunity that you came on and let us in your world a little bit.
Awesome.
And so,
Thank
and
you. Let us know
until,
when it airs. Let us know when it airs, and we'll
yes,
put it all out.
get you the link, Bob. And until next time, keep looking up and God bless you. And we'll see you next time. Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Bye.